Today on Studio G, why some college students may be worried about not receiving their diplomas on time.
A place where you can feel safe while getting some answers to some of your pending questions.
And what CSUN is doing to spice up students' experiences and even the image of UNLV on campus. This is Studio G. Welcome to this Thursday edition of Studio G. I'm Shelly Salvito.
And I'm Nicole Reynolds.
For some, college may just be a four-year dream, but in reality, graduating on time may not be as on schedule as you think. Reporter Valerie Mercenier has the story.
Most UNLV students assume that they'll have a bachelor degree in 4 years, but for many that doesn't happen. The average student takes longer than 4 years to graduate.
This phenomenon, it's not isolated to UNLV. It's actually something that's happening everywhere. You gotta take at least 30 credits every year if you want to finish within the 4-year mark.
Something many students don't realize and others don't want to do.
To take a full load every single semester with 4 classes and to do summer school and take classes during that time, it would have just been too much for me.
The rising cost of tuition is another reason why a 4-year graduation is difficult to attain.
It's harder for students to pay, the amount of credits per semester that it takes them to finish a degree in 4 years because tuition costs more.
And students who do want to take a full load might not be able to take a class because some classes aren't offered every single semester.
A lot of the classes that we need are only offered in the fall or they're only offered in the spring. So you have to wait that amount of time to take a class.
Want to get out of here in 4 years? Remember these 4 things.
1. Apply for financial aid and scholarships. 2. Take 30 credits a year. If you only take 4 classes during the spring and fall, make sure you're taking 2 during the summer. 3. Speak to an advisor every semester. And 4. Try not to declare a major unless you're sure about what you want to do.
For Studio G, I'm Valerie Mercenier.
To make an appointment with your advisor, you can go to unlv.edu and find college you belong to.
The old saying, "No question is a stupid question," is now coming to life at UNLV's public forum. Reporter Ron Paul Gavino has the story.
Have you ever had a question that you've wanted answered, but couldn't find the right time or place to ask? Have you ever felt a subject was too awkward or too politically correct to talk about? A new event hopes to create a safe place for questions such as these. No Stupid Questions is a monthly discussion sponsored by the Office of Civic Engagement and Diversity. Panelists are brought together to share their identities and experiences to the audience, and then answer anonymously asked questions. Kiana Sanders, the graduate assistant for multicultural student programs, helped put the event together in the hopes to create an open place for safe discussion.
An opportunity for students to get their unanswered questions answered about different stereotypes that maybe they've heard or maybe that they have. It's a space where students can learn a little bit more about someone's personal experience based on that identity, and maybe it'll help them interact with other people who fit into that identity.
The event brings in panelists who share a common identity. This month's identity, women. In the past, the panel has consisted of students from the LGBTQ community and of Native American backgrounds.
It's a really cool way to connect with people through experiences that you didn't know you shared.
After the panelist's introduction, questions are asked anonymously and moderated by Professor Doris L. Watson. The anonymous question format allows for a more engaging experience.
So you can ask whatever and not worry about being thought, you should know that, that's a dumb question. You don't have to worry about offending anyone with your question. So it's a really good opportunity for learning.
If you have a question that you've always wanted answered, be sure to attend the next No Stupid Questions discussion panel. For Studio G, I'm Ron Paul Gavino.
Now let's send it off to Kelby Weiler with our weekly national news. Kelby?
Thanks, Nicole. Hi, I'm Kelby Weiler with your national news for this week. A recent collaboration with Apple might just be the new hybrid for hearing aid technology. The Denmark-based hearing aid company GN Resound is developing a new hearing aid that is said to be compatible with the iPhone, iPod, and iPod Touch. According to CNN, the new device is called the Lynx and will sync wirelessly to the mobile devices while taking advantage of Apple's new accessibility options for the hearing impaired. It will allow for direct streaming of phone calls, FaceTime chats, music, movies, and navigation to the user's earpiece. The hearing aids are medical devices and will only be available through visits to your audiologist. According to a new report from the Centers for Disease Control, antibiotic prescriptions are putting hospital patients at increased risk for drug-resistant infections due to the overuse of those antibiotics. Fox News reported Wednesday that the doctors at some hospitals are prescribing 3 times as many antibiotics as doctors at other hospitals to treat similar patients. They call it defensive medicine, but when antibiotics are given for too long, they can kill off naturally occurring bacteria and make patients more vulnerable to other infections. President Barack Obama unveiled his fiscal year 2015 budget Tuesday, proposing a $3.9 trillion budget that would raise taxes on the rich to help the working poor and middle class. This could possibly make it easier to save for retirement and make college more affordable. In his speech, he emphasized that this can be a roadmap for creating jobs and leaving our future generations without a mountain of debt. That's all I have for this week's national news. Let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Kelby. The International Council and Rebel Events Board are working together to shed UNLV's commuter school image. The organizations put together a Mardi Gras event in the SU Ballroom earlier this week. Students enjoyed music, crazy costumes, a photo booth, and of course some New Orleans cuisine. If you want to join in on some on campus, you can go to Paris. That is an event called Rebels in Paris. It happens tonight from 9 to 12. It'll feature free painting, caricatures, food, and more. Coming up after the break, reporter Elvin Loy takes us across the sea with a history lesson of Ukraine.
College students rethink their eating and spending habits. How healthy choices become affordable next.
And the surprising results from a recent study involving underage drinking in Nevada. Stay with us.
Joining a student organization can enhance and redefine the UNLV college experience. UNLV has over 200 registered student organizations on campus and in the Las Vegas community, encompassing a variety of interests, activities, and beliefs among the student body. To explore, access, and join a student organization, visit the Involvement Center website under my.unlv.edu. Be a rebel. Get involved.
The broadcast service for UNLV, and this is the Takeover, in case you didn't know.
I like to go to shows and find artists that are pretty cool and interesting and offer something different. I give them the opportunity to come here and be heard over radio waves. I'm glad to be bringing that awareness to the Vegas community and also giving locals the opportunity to come on and be on radio. I'm your host, Brandy the Prince Madison. This is the Takeover. We play old school hip hop and R&B. Then we get a little bit ratchet towards the end.
Welcome back from the break. What I have behind me is a map of Ukraine with the capital of Kiev. But what we want to focus is on Crimea, where all the troubling happening is right now. In fact, we're going to take a step back and look at the history of Ukraine and see what exactly is going on over there.
An event like that happens in a country that big with some 46 million people that occupies such a strategically important location. One simply doesn't know what's going to happen. In that sense, it's an extremely dangerous situation.
The current tension in Ukraine is due to the location of the country.
And Ukraine is an interesting place because it really is right at that pressure point, if you will, between different parts of Europe.
Kiev is the root of their culture for both Ukraine and Russia, since they can trace the history of their statehood and religion there.
See themselves as closely related kind of ethnically, linguistically, which I think all of that is true. They see themselves as fraternal peoples, you could say.
The current crisis can bring up painful memories for the people of Ukraine.
When Russians refer to, and Putin and so forth, when they refer to the revolutionaries in Ukraine as being fascists, as being Nazis, as being nationalists, they're calling forth a very, very deep memory of the violence that unfolded in the context of the Second World War.
The focus has shifted to Crimea because it is the last stronghold for the Russian-friendly people.
So Crimea, I think, is a flashpoint because it's probably the most Russian of the regions of Ukraine. It was transferred from the Russian Republic within the USSR to the Ukrainian Republic within the USSR. And I think actually even now it's not quite clear why exactly this was done. It was in a sense a gift, shall we say. But it was not sort of historically part of Ukraine as such.
With all the posturing between the Russian and Ukrainian, there is much uncertainty on the future. For Studio G, this is Alvin Loy.
Thanks, Alvin. College students are into their 7th week of their spring semester, and concerns of gaining the freshman 15 can arise. But finding food fast and nutritious can be hard for students on a budget. March is National Nutrition Month and also a time for some college students to rethink their eating and spending habits. The student union neighboring fast food franchises and restaurants surrounding the university are visited by students daily. But eating right on a budget starts with planning before you head to the grocery store.
This is all in the same sequence.
Plan out your meals in advance, make a grocery shopping list, and stick to that list when you're shopping.
To save an extra buck, it's best to double recipes from time to time so you can freeze part of it for another day. Buying in bulk is often cheaper too, and for the meat eaters out there, you can save by
Dollars go further is by adding beans to the mixture, and then you can stretch the meat and actually use less in the same dish.
Controlling your portion size can help your budget, weight, and your eating habits. Experts say that we tend to eat whatever is placed in front of us, so no matter where you're full or not. And college students are advised to bring smaller portions in their packed lunches to save money.
Underage drinking has always been a problem, but to what extent is it a problem in Nevada? The Youth Risk and Behavior Survey results were recently released. It stated that when 21.4% of high school students rode in a car or other vehicle driven by someone who had been drinking alcohol 30 days before taking this survey. However, in Clark County, most of these kids do not seem to be getting caught.
Alcohol-related arrests, whether just combining all of our alcohol-related arrests, only account for 8% of the things that we get here in the juvenile justice system. It's less than 10%. And we don't file, the DA's office does not necessarily file all those charges, so alcohol-related charges only account for 5% of what we.
About 87% of the participants were under the age of 18. When you are under the age of 18 and are caught with an alcoholic beverage, there could be severe consequences.
The most serious thing that can happen to a child in the juvenile justice system is if you are of the age of 14 and you are charged with a felony or any felony of an adult. So, for example, a third-time DUI or your first-time DUI with substantial bodily harm, if you were between the ages of 14 or 18, that is when my office would take steps to certify you as an adult.
There are programs in Clark County such as Safe and Drug-Free School that help raise awareness for problems such as underage drinking. Underage drinking is not only risky behavior on this survey. If you would like to look at the full results of other behaviors teens may be participating in, you can go to health.nv.gov.
A 19-year-old from Goshen, Ohio, died last year from a heroin overdose. According to his mother, his death was brought upon by his friends, and now she's looking for justice. Dylan Owens was weeks away from enlisting in the Army when his life was cut short. According to his mother, Tina Owens, Dylan died when 22-year-old Madison Rogers injected him with heroin. 2 others were involved. Tina says that trio waited hours before calling for help, and in the meantime, abused Dylan's body by handcuffing him to a bed. They even took photos of the dead body.
The one boy videotaped my son and took pictures of Dylan and posted it on Facebook. And these pictures got out to certain individuals that were Dylan's friends. It got out to his brother.
Currently, Rogers is the only one being charged. Tina wants the other 2 to be held responsible as well. The Claremont County prosecutor says that he doesn't believe the other 2 involved will be charged due to lack of evidence. Coming up after the break, what Microsoft announced that could cause banks a big problem for security. Your science and technology news after the break.
Participation in Greek fraternity and sorority life at UNLV can provide an experience like no other, with benefits including supportive friends, leadership and career opportunities, and community service.
Greek life at UNLV is really great because it's a good way to network and meet new people from all over the place.
We got academics and we're all about that culture. So we encompass everything all around, and we're out here and we're trying to better ourselves and try to make it better, and let's just make it all better all together.
Deca promotes personal and professional development through competitive events, community involvement, and leadership development.
I joined Deca because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. So I got to meet people, network, and definitely work on my public speaking.
To join Deca, it's a very simple process. You have to pay a $25 membership fee. You can either come to our next meeting, our website, which is unlvdeca.co.vu.
We're open to all majors who are interested in business, finance, or hospitality-related fields.
Hi, I'm Donald Woods with this Thursday Science and Technology News. We've all at some point have made a trip to the ATM machine to withdraw some cash and don't see it as a big risk to sensitive information, but ATMs can soon be an easier target for hackers. Most ATMs run on Windows XP. The operating system is more than a decade old, but Microsoft announced that they will stop issuing updates for XP April the 8th. So if there are security holes, they won't be fixed. And right now, banks across the country are sprinting to upgrade their ATM by next month. On the animal science, scientists are getting a closer peek at life in the SeaWorld that's below the surface. University of Hawaii are tagging 12-foot tiger sharks with cameras. The camera gives them details on survival behavior. In this, they found some sharks will choose to stay in a group rather than risk being a meal for the tiger shark. On the social science, a selfie is a social media term that is defined as a self-portrait, self-photograph typically taken with a handheld digital camera on a phone. But research has been going on to see who takes more, men or women. Researchers from 3 scholar institutions studied and cataloged thousands of selfies shared online from a variety of social networks, from residents in international cities. The project found that women in fact significantly take more selfies than men, but once men hit 40, the trend reverses. In a group of people aged 40 and over, it's the men who snap more. If you're a Twitter user, you might have gotten an alert that your account was hacked. Well, it turns out that this, in fact, was a huge mistake. Twitter confirmed Tuesday that thousands of emails were sent out by accident, telling users that their accounts had been compromised and their passwords were reset. But no such breach occurred and the passwords were never reset. Twitter apologized for the inconvenience. That's all the science and technology news I have for this Tuesday. I'm Donald Woods, and we'll send it back to the desk for more news.
So Don, how safe would you say these cameras are for the sharks?
Oh, they're absolutely safe. You know, they've had the technology for a long time to be able to put cameras underwater, so I don't think it'll harm the sharks at all. But it's the cameras they should be worried about more of the sharks because, right. You know, if a shark attacks a camera, it's finished.
Yeah. Thanks, Donald. After the rain last week, we've experienced some beautiful weather lately, right, Fabiola?
That's right, Shelly. And yes, we're expecting some sunny days, but we are having a bit of cloud cover today. But no, we are not having any rain this week, and I'll tell you why right after this break. Fabiola will be showing you your weather in your state and some national. We'll be right back. So I have this quick video, pretty cool, of Las Vegas from our satellite. And yes, like Shelly was telling us earlier, we're having a really nice weather. However, we're seeing a bit of cloud cover today, and we're standing at 67. Our low is 53. Yes, we're having that cloud weather, but the reason why is because we're expecting some rain from the east side. Tonopah, however, it's at 57. St. George, they're enjoying that sunny. Las Vegas and the Nellis station right here, we might expect rain, but I doubt we'll have it. Later today, our current weather for Las Vegas, like I said, 67. Pocatello, 47. Arcanica is 59, Medford 50, and Santa Barbara is standing at 71. Pretty nice on that Flagstaff. Now we're having a bit of disturbance right here, and I'll show you. We're having some winds and clouds covering from above of our map, and we're not expecting anything heavy, but we'll be enjoying a great weekend over our NASCAR coming in this weekend. It's going to be very sunny, so be prepped. Miami standing at 73, Houston at 58, Seattle expecting rain, but everything will be fine. Now, don't forget, we're getting our hour on Sunday and Saturday, so don't forget to change that clock. This is our extended forecast, and that's all I have for today, and we'll be right back after this break.
Only place where you're going to hear these stories. The stories that count, that Combox Radio refuses to cover. My show is The King Louie Show. So, no one really wants to hear about the last bombing that happened in Baghdad. So we do the stories that matter, like K-Rev having a seizure at mid-court, or fast-paced show with lots of fast-paced music, especially punk rock, and stories that hit hard. King Louie here, host of The King Louie Show on the Rebel HD2, and I am here every Friday noon to 2.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
From the break, I'm Crystal Muguerza, and I'm joined with the Vice President of Competitive Development, Randy Wynn, and fellow Deca member, Cassandra Taylor. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so tell us a little bit more about Deca.
Okay, I'll say. Well, Deca is a student-run business organization that prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management.
Okay, so I know that you guys are actively preparing for a competition in April. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. Our international conference this year is in Washington, D.C., and so we're all competing in different events, different competitive events. There's role plays where we meet with industry professionals and judges, and we learn a lot about how to prepare for different businesses and aspects in the industry, which is really cool.
Okay, so how long have you guys been preparing so far?
We've actually been starting to prepare since January. We have competition camps where we invite several local business individuals to help us judge our competitive events and also critique on our presentations, and that will continue all the way till April. So it's from January to April. So we've been preparing about 2 months.
Oh, 2 months.
But it's really cool. One of our judges that came in to help us with our project was actually a past winner from Shark Tank. So they had got a $100,000 investment, and they're there to mentor us and to guide us into winning it.
So is it colleges across the nation that'll be here to compete against you guys?
Yes.
Around in the nation as well as in different countries.
Oh, okay, so it's a worldwide event.
Yes.
Okay, so I know you said the whole Shark Tank thing. I know you guys have an event coming up in March. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, well, UMA Deca is hosting a Shark Tank event, which is on March 29th and 30th. This is where Deca members sign up in competitive teams, and then at the day of the event, they're given a case study, and they have 1 day to think of a really unique solution to the idea, and then create a presentation and present it in front of judges who are angel investors in Nevada.
Okay, is this the first time you guys are ever doing this?
Yeah.
Anything that you guys are most excited about for this?
The case study, one of the hints that our advisor has told us is that it's connected to the downtown project.
Yeah. So we're working with our community and still learning business parts.
So if any other students are interested in joining, can they still be part? Where can they get more information?
Yes. We're still open to more students to join our organization, and they can find more information on Facebook at UNLV Deca or on our website at unlvdeca.co.vu.
Okay. So do you guys have anything else that you guys are coming up with, other events?
Right now, it's just our national competition. One thing I would like to say is Deca is not just for business, hospitality majors. We're actually open to a lot of people. Randy here is actually computer science, I believe. So we have a lot of engineers, science majors, and everything. So we're welcome to everybody.
So a great organization for everyone involved. Okay, so real quick, if people wanted to get involved, what's your Facebook? And I know you guys have a Twitter before we wrap this up.
Yes. Our Twitter handle is UNLV Deca, and then our Facebook is UNLV Deca as well.
Okay, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Studio G when we come back.
Joining a student organization can enhance and redefine the UNLV college experience. UNLV has over 200 registered student organizations on campus and in the Las Vegas community, encompassing a variety of interests, activities, and beliefs among the student body. To explore, access, and join a student organization, visit the Involvement Center website under my.unlv.edu. Be a rebel. Get involved.
Hey, Nicole, are you going to go to that event tonight, that Paris event?
Well, you know, I've always wanted to go to Paris, so this might be my little stepping my toes in the water, kind of as close as I'll get to Paris.
I still want to go to that event tonight. Well, that does it for this Thursday show of Studio G. I'm Shelly Salbito.
And I'm Nicole Reynolds.
If you're looking to catch up on previous episodes or to share your ideas, visit our website at studiog.unlv.tv.
Have a great day, Las Vegas.